Aloha and welcome to tonight's topic, nutritional guidelines during cancer treatment, facts and myths. My name is Mary Ann. I am a nutrition consultant and educator. I'm also a business developer and I do have a Bachelor's of Science degree in holistic nutrition. And personally, I believe that the human body is amazing and remarkable things can happen when it's given the nutrition and support that it needs. So the notes that I'm going to be sharing with you today are notes from a presentation by Dr. Steve Shaney. He is active in cancer research at the University of North Carolina, and also information from Barbara Lagoni. And there is so much confusion on what patients should do during cancer treatments. So much of it is misguided information that is given by the doctors themselves. And that's simply because doctors have very little nutritional education. And in many cases, they actually discourage patients from taking any nutritional support when in fact it is helpful for many to make it successfully through their cancer treatments. Now, we do recommend that if someone is going through cancer treatments to, keep your doctor informed of any supplements that are being taken. And the information that is being shared today are opinions of Dr. Steve Shaney and Barbara Lagoni that is based on research and experiences, and these are not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So here's Dr. Steve Cheney, and he does hold a Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry from Duke University. He has his PhD in biochemistry, and you can read right here more about him and the published research papers that he has done, the Teacher of the Year that he has been, received, nominated by his students. And there's also Barbara Lagoni, who is a nutritionist with a degree from Cornell, and she speaks all over the US about health and nutrition. So one particular brand that we do recommend while we are going through this topic here is Shaklee. And the reason why we do so is because Shaklee is quite different. And right here, this is just the beginning at what makes Shaklee different. There's the purity, there's the potency, there's the performance, and the proof. The potency is guaranteed, the purity is guaranteed, the performance is guaranteed, and the proof, basically the strongest scientific clinical studies, and they are done on the products themselves. So it's not just generic studies done on, for example, vitamin C. And here it's studies that are done on this particular formula that Shaklee has, the vitamin C that Shaklee offers. Those are the studies that are done, and it goes the same with all the products. It's not general studies, it's done on the products themselves. So let's take a look at the myth. Here's myth number 1, and we're looking at vitamins feed cancer cells. So withholding nutritional supplements is like destroying the village to save it. The only way to selectively starve cancer cells is to withhold glucose and to keep the body alkaline. Normal healthy cells use carbohydrates, proteins, and fat for their energy. Cancer cells only use glucose and require acidic conditions to metabolize that glucose. So good cancer strategies: you want to keep your blood sugar low. You want to keep your blood alkaline, and a good way of doing that it is with Shaklee's alfalfa tablets and vegetables. And also to avoid sugar, meat, and dairy as they make your blood acidic. So here now, myth number 2. Vitamins interfere with chemo drugs. Dun, dun, dun. No, good clinical studies have they have never shown that supplements interfere with chemotherapy. But to be cautious, it is recommended to stop taking antioxidant supplements 2 days before chemo until 2 days after, but only the antioxidants. Other supplements can be continued. Now, chemo drugs are designed to leave the body rapidly after they do their job, and some time in between chemo treatments is required for the normal cells to recover. So there are side effects that go along with chemotherapy, and you might have experienced that, or someone close to you might have experienced it. And chemotherapy non-selectively damages all the rapidly growing cells in the body, and so that will affect the hair, lining of the digestive tract and bone marrow. It will cause skin lesions and sores of the mouth. It will cause digestive side effects such as nausea, vomiting, and dehydration. Chemo also causes neurological damage, which is also referred to as chemobrain. And some drugs also adversely affect the blood, and they damage the platelets, neutrophils, and lymphocytes, which are all essential for the immune system. So you don't want those to be damaged, especially when dealing with cancer. So nutritional support for the digestive issues. Here we're going to look at a couple things. So for the nausea, what we'd recommend is the stomach soothing complex. Now, of course, each person is different, and so one person may get particular side effects while another may not get them all. So this is on a individual basis. And for dehydration, we recommend Performance. My particular favorite for Performance is the lemon lime, but it also comes in orange. And Optiflora is to help restore the essential probiotics, and that's the flora in the gut. Also, Easy Digest provides all the digestive enzymes needed to digest fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and so on. So that's something that, if needed, you would look and see what would be the best suited approach for the issues that are going on. Now, there's a big concern with bone marrow damage. Bone marrow is the reservoir for the undifferentiated stem cells from all the blood cells. So the platelets for clotting, the neutrophils and lymphocytes, which are the white blood cells. And these blood cells have a lifespan of a few weeks to a few months. So they need constant replenishing. And the conversion from stem cells to mature cells requires cell division, and therefore is potentially damaged by various chemotherapy drugs. So this is why the blood count often drops with chemotherapy drugs. It's critical to provide nutrients that the bone marrow needs to replenish the white blood cells and the platelets. And those nutrients are protein. And basically, protein is critical to keeping the calories up and also the protein up. And next, we're looking at Vitalizer. Vitalizer feeds healthy marrow cells. It has vitamin C, vitamin E, zinc, B complex, carotenoids, and Vital E, which is multivitamin. And all those are in the Vitalizer. Then there's also Nutriferon. And the nutriferon helps to stimulate the interferon production, and that causes the bone marrow to make more immune cells. So this is actually very, very critical. Now, what about the red blood cells? Red blood cells are less affected than the white cells and the platelets, but anemia can still be a problem. And something to help with that would be the B complex. B complex is very important for the red blood cell production, and sometimes iron plus vitamin C is sometimes needed. And of course, again, individual basis, each person is different. But the most life-threatening event is the weakening of the immune system from the loss of white blood cells. And a number of patients can succumb to infections from fungus, bacteria, yeast, etc., or get internal bleeding or stroke from the loss of the platelets. So the immune system is very critical to fight the cancer cells. So consuming bad fats can be a cause of cancer. So here we're looking at something that can be a contributor to the cancer. So reduce bad fats and increase the good fats. So the eicosanoids are hormone-like substances that control cell growth. And so the bad ones are made from bad fats. And omega-6 fats, saturated and trans fats. These are found in fried foods, food made with vegetable oils like safflower, corn oil, sunflower oil, etc., such as chips, crispy snacks, baked goods, processed foods, some salad dressings, beef, pork, and lamb-fed corn to fatten them. Now, the good ones are made from good fats, such as the omega-3 fats that are found in fish. And here we also have with Shaklee, we have it available in the Vitalizer and the Omega Guard. Now moving right along, to reduce the bad fats and increase the good fats. So what you want to do is include omega-3 fatty acids to reduce the eicosanoids that stimulate the cancer growth. And the omega-3 fatty acids, what they do is they produce the good eicosanoids that inhibit the cancer growth. So you also want to reduce or eliminate, if you can, the omega-6 fatty acids because they produce the bad eicosanoids that stimulate the cancer growth. So saturated fats and trans fats may also stimulate the cancer cell growth. So those are things, to keep in mind if you can reduce or, even better, eliminate those particular types of fats. Now, let's take a look at sugar and carbohydrates. So cancer cells rely exclusively on glucose to grow. So cancer cells, they grow best in an acid environment. Therefore, you want to keep your blood sugar very low. And so you want to do no sugar or starchy snacks. And you want to eat protein and vegetables and alkalize the body with alfalfa and vegetables. And that's to help, maintain the acid level of your body to where the cancer cells cannot grow and feed on the sugars. So something to keep in mind is to detox the blood and the liver because chemotherapy drugs are basically poisons. They are designed to attack their targets and then to leave the body all within a few days. And so to help detoxify the body of that, you can do, to help your liver, we have the liver DTX, which stands for detox. And that helps the liver in a number of ways. And if you'd like more information on that, just let me know. So let's take a look at chemotherapy. The effectiveness of chemotherapy is directly proportional to the number of treatments that can be given to eradicate the cancer cells. So if the patient becomes too weak, such as the white blood cells drop too low, treatment must stop. So the goal is to keep the patient as strong as possible during the treatment so the full round of chemotherapy can be administered. That is why it is essential to strengthen normal cells between chemo treatments. What normal cells need to do to recover between chemotherapy? Well, nutrients are needed by the normal cells, and that can be provided with the Vitalizer. And then you also want to repair damage that has been done to the normal cells, and nutrients that can help with that are the Vivix and also protein. And for that, there's the Shaklee 180, there's the energizing soy protein, there's the meal shakes, there's the physique. It doesn't really matter which one is used as long as, the individual likes what is being used, but it is essential to keep protein and calorie levels high. Now, let's take a look also at immune nutrients. For that, there's Nutriferon, Vitalizer, Flavomax, Keratomax, which is the pre-vitamin A, which helps to control the cell growth. So there's additional nutrients that can also help, like defend and resist, and which is echinacea, and for that would be taken 1 week on and 1 week off. And the Nutriferon, which we just discussed a moment ago, it causes the production of interferon, and the interferon stimulate the production of more immune cells. So radiation, that's another, aspect of cancer treatment. And if it is given, it is usually given daily. So avoid antioxidants so as not to protect the cancer cells from the radiation. So vitamin C, E, carotenoids, flavonoids, Vivix, and Vitalizers, Shaklee 180, meal shakes, as they have antioxidants in them. but take the supplements that are not antioxidants. So that would be Nutriferon, B complex, energizing soy protein, instant soy protein mix, Optiflora, and zinc. So to review, here's a take-home lesson. There are no clinical studies showing whether or not supplementation interferes with chemotherapy. Because of the uncertainty, some caution is prudent while the chemo drugs are in the body. So we stop antioxidant supplements 2 days before through 2 days after chemo, as the drugs leave the body in about 24 to 48 hours. Then we resume them to help the normal cells to recover between rounds of chemo so that more chemo treatments can be given. Clinical studies do show that supplements can improve quality of life while on chemotherapy. To review, during chemotherapy, you want to stop the antioxidant supplements 2 days before through 2 days after chemo. Antioxidants are vitamin C, E, Carotamax, Flavomax, and Vitalizer, Shaklee 180, and meal shakes, as they have antioxidants in them, as well as Vivix. And then you want to continue to take Nutriferon, Optiflora, B complex, energizing soy protein shakes, instant soy protein mix, and zinc. The only time that the B vitamins are not recommended is when taking the methotrexate and related drugs. And antioxidants should be avoided during radiation treatments. I know we're doing a lot of repeat, but it's very important. So, thoughts from the professor. Chemotherapy is the best of times and the worst of times. At its best, it offers miraculous cures. At its worst, it exerts a terrible toll on the normal cells in our body. A prudent approach to supporting our normal cells while minimizing the interference with chemotherapy offers the possibility of minimizing side effects and improving quality of life, and maximizing the number of chemotherapy treatments that can be given. So for additional information, talk with the person that shared this information with you. Dr. Shaney also has resources available at healthtipsfromtheprofessor.com, and I can be reached at unlimitedsolutionsoffice.com, or you can also call my office at 808-345-2897. So I am in Hawaii, so be mindful of the difference in time zone. If you're calling like from the East Coast and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning for you, it's still nighttime for me. So any questions, do let me know. And also you can talk with the person that shared this with you if that was not me. Have a great evening. Aloha.